interesting game. You know, at halftime, these two young women were leading us in the scoring column, and I think that's pretty cool that we still had a lead, and these two young women were able, Tiara's been able to string games together now, which has been awesome. And the other piece of it is because people are so focused on Brooke's ability to be able to score and obviously Tasha Levitt's ability to be able to score, it's opened up lanes for Erica to drive and get layups. And regardless of who was guarding her, she was able to get in the paint, and I think that was really fun. And having them now be a focal point to a team's defense really can change some things. It can really change some things for us. And the piece that I'm most proud of, though, is definitely the defensive end. They held them to 4 points in that second quarter. That was humongous. And then just continue to add the pressure on defensively, even with some substitutions, until we got to a point where we had mass substitution. We did a pretty good job. I was pretty upset about the rebounding at different times, but then I take a look now, we led in the rebounding category with 40 to their 39. And you do that against a team who is, getting in there and they're 10 plus in rebounds, you're going to win the basketball game. I told them if we win the rebounding battle, we win the game, period. I don't know what's going to happen, but this team, with the way they play, how hard they play, how they're relentless on the boards, and the size that they have with Plummer in the middle, that's something that I knew we can do that. We're going to be okay.
Tia, Coach talks about putting the string of wins together. What's working right now for the team that has the chemistry so high?
I just think everyone's confident and we're just making the right pass, and everyone I think everyone's seeing everybody and everyone knows where everyone's supposed to be. So I think that's really helping us too.
Coach, you mentioned going to your bench a little bit with the lead. What did you like out of your younger group that you got to see that they got some minutes tonight?
I think what I like is that there was no true drop off. There might have been here and there, but that's just more actual game minutes. So allowing them to play through some errors was important, and having a lead to where we can allow them to play through some errors, but those errors were few and far between. As far as being able to get the defensive stops we needed to, and also understand to move the ball in offensive flow was important as well, and they did a good job of that.
Y'all put up 92 today, but the defense, y'all held them to 50. What led to the solid defensive performance this afternoon?
I think we protected the paint and we were able to. The guards weren't getting penetrated on that much, so the post had to step up for help. So I think that's really what helped us.
Final question, Coach. UTA is up next. What challenges are you expecting that group to give y'all as y'all go on this 3-game road trip right now?
Well, the biggest challenge, I don't necessarily think it's a challenge, is that this is UTA. So we've come through the ranks together, right? We're both in the South End, both in the WAC, now in the Sun Belt. And it's obviously turned into a rivalry very similar to UTSA. And I think that we have to understand that for the newcomers. And we're going to rely heavily on our upperclassmen to remember the fact that they whooped us here, whether we turn around and got them there. And I think the emotions are going to be running high, so it's important that we stay even-keeled, we stay focused on what we need to do to get stops. Obviously, Rebecca, preseason conference player of the year. Crystal Allen's a heck of a shooter. They got another kid who's a pretty darn good guard as well. Does a good job of shooting the three for him. Shelby Richards. I feel like that's a team I could right now and go play. I got the scout down. But we'll get the team prepared for that as we go on the road for a really tough opponent. But in the meantime, they need some rest. So, Wednesday's a complete day off. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday's off. And so I really want them to enjoy having the day off and not have to worry about basketball.
One last question. Who you guys got in the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go to Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I want the Eagles to win.
Underdogs, because Tom Brady gets it every time. But that would be cool for him to make history again.
Yeah.